busy day of baseball here in Tokyo. Second round starts. First game, Israel and Cuba. And what a story Israel has been. Sweeping through Korea, knocking out not only Korea, but also Chinese Taipei. And Jason Marquis, who got the ball to open the tournament, will get it here for Israel. And he faces a very good Cuba starting lineup. Raul Santos, plenty of speed there. Alexander Ayala, good hit and run guy. Then the power, Cepeda, Despagne, Saavedra. Yuris Belgracial was probably Cuba's best hitter in the first round. Carlos Benitez is at second base. Frank Morejon, a veteran and very good defensive catcher. And Yulki Cespedes, the 19-year-old half-brother of Yoenis Cespedes. And here is Marquis. Buck Martinez, what do you expect out of this right-hander?
Well, I expect him to throw a lot of strikes. You can see his major league career, very impressive resume. 15 seasons, 124 wins. Marquis has pitched with the Braves, the Cardinals, the Cubs, the Rockies, the Nationals, the Diamondbacks, the Twins. He's been all over the place, and he wants to get back to the big leagues. He throws a fastball, sinker, curve, slider, and a changeup. He'll use all of his pitches, and he really became a pitcher under Dave Duncan when he went from Atlanta to St. Louis in 2004. He won 15 games that year, and I spoke to him last night, and he indeed wants to get back to the big leagues. He hasn't pitched since 2015, and this is a great platform for him to showcase his skills. A lot of major league scouts in attendance here in Tokyo.
There's Carlos Martí, the 68-year-old veteran manager in Serie Nacional, the league in Cuba. His team, Granma, won it all, and because of that, he was named national team manager. He calmly guided Cuba through that first round. They had some ups and downs. He didn't get too excited. He didn't get too down. And as a result, here is Cuba opening things in round two, game one. Jason Marquis to Raul Santos. And this game is underway. Todd Tishner calling balls and strikes. Corey Blazer at first. Trevor Grieve, a Canadian umpire. And Jens Vader, a German umpire, is at third. And Marquis gets a strike, and it's 1-1.
Marquis understands that Santos is a legitimate leadoff hitter. He's got to keep him off base to really take the sting out of this offense. And there's a good sinker on the outside corner. Velocity is good for Marquis so far. We mentioned he has trained for this tournament as if he were getting ready for a major league season.
6 hits in that first round for this little leadoff man. And it's a Cuban team, Buck, that is a little different from 2013. The sluggers of that year, most of them are gone. Gurriel, Abreu, Tomas. And you've got speedsters at the top and the bottom of the lineup. Sam Fold and Scott Burcham converge on that one. It's the shortstop Burcham who makes the catch. Buck Martinez, Israel's defense.
Defense was a real strong suit in the first 3 games for Israel. Galen Fold and Borenstein in the outfield. Ty Kelly and Scott Burcham on the left side, they really played well defensively. Burcham is an A-ball player and has played very well. Tyler Krieger and Nate Fryman on the right side, and the veteran Ryan Lavarnway will do the signal calling for Jason Marquis.
Alexander Ayala, the shortstop for Cuba. After the first pitch, Ty Kelly across the diamond in time. It's a very good defensive team. Israel really helped themselves in pool play, sweeping through it in Korea.
Well, Jerry Weinstein, the manager, understands his veteran pitcher has 80 pitches. The pitch count has increased in the second round, so he's really confident in Marquis' ability to pitch deep into this game.
Switch hitting Frederick Cepeda, the 36-year-old guy that came over to play here for the Yomiuri Giants. And he lines that one to center. There's Fold on the run, and he gets it. And 1, 2, 3 goes Cuba. Israel gets their first swings in round 2. Next. Scoreless start, Cuba and Israel. Now the right-hander that goes for Cuba pitched in game 1 Noerves Intenza, he faced Japan, and Buck, he wasn't in the game very long.
No, he wasn't. He lasted just an inning and a third through 43 pitches. Those are his numbers from a year ago. He made 15 starts, 7-3 record. I believe the makeup of his arsenal is effective against this team. You mentioned he had a short outing against Japan, 43 pitches.
On the second pitch, Sam Folds and Carlos Benitez, a sliding stop at second to get out number one for Cuba.
He throws a lot of off-speed breaking balls, and that could be effective against this fastball hitting lineup of Israel. And you can bet in this second round, manager Carlos Marti will have a quick hook. He's got a lot of depth in his bullpen. We have seen Moinello, the left-hander, and Yera, the left-hander, pitch very effectively. So if Intenza really doesn't command his pitches early, he might be out of here quickly.
Israel in 3 games put up 21 runs in Korea. And one of the reasons why is the combination at the top of the order, Sam Folds and this guy, Ty Kelly. Kelly last year got to the big leagues with the Mets. And he can't check his swing, and he's behind the count 0-2.
Kelly hit .328 at AAA Las Vegas and then got called up to the big leagues.
And a changeup misses out, and it's 1-2. Kelly known for his patience, and Intenza known for testing patience at the plate.
Intenza and Frank Morejón, the Cuban catcher, are teammates when they played in Canada last summer, so they know each other very well. They also play together in Cuba, so Morejón has the ultimate confidence from his pitcher. Intenza, he will trust what his catcher has called and really try to make a good pitch with it.
2-2. Kelly sends that one into right field. Cespedes charges and makes the catch. Kelly, a teammate of Cespedes' older brother with the Mets. All right, here is Israel's lineup. You've seen Fold, you've seen Kelly. Ike Davis, a former Met, and a guy that has done some damage in the big leagues, fought through injuries. Nate Fryman, a big first baseman with pop. Zach Bornstein's in right. Ryan Lavarnway was the MVP of that Korean pool. Blake Galen in left, Tyler Krieger at second, and young Scott Burcham hits ninth and plays shortstop.
Ike Davis, 29 years old. He got into 8 games with the Yankees last season. Had a terrific year in 2012 while playing for the Mets. He had 32 home runs and drove in 90. Former #1 pick of the Mets in 2008 out of Arizona State.
And Davis can't check his swing, and Intenza evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, Team Israel is going to have to look soft against Intenza. He's not going to give you too many fastballs in the zone to hit. He's got a great changeup. He's got a very good slow curveball. So you've got to throttle down a little bit against Intenza. 78 miles an hour.
Davis had a double and a triple and 5 hits in 10 at-bats. In Korea, and Israel beat Korea in the opener 2-1, wiped out Chinese Taipei 15-7, and then beat the Netherlands 4-2 to go 3-0. And they were, if you were making the odds in that pool, Jerry Weinstein and his team were 200-1 to go 3-0 and advance, but they did it.
Another off-speed pitch missed. Both Japan in their pool here in Tokyo went 3-0, and Israel went 3-0 in Seoul, Korea. And a nice contingent of fans, family members traveling with this team, making their way over from Korea.
Full count. Davis with 2 outs. We're just underway. And he pulls that one foul. I think baseball fans and sports fans, many of them were just surprised to hear that Israel had a baseball team and was in the World Baseball Classic. They had to qualify to get here. And they arrived in Korea, heavy underdogs, and here they are, all of a sudden, Cinderellas in the second round. Intenza, 3-2 in the dirt. This is a patient team. And Davis works a walk. And it'll bring up Nate Fryman. We take a look at Cuba's defense.
Well, we have seen this defense throughout the course of the first round. They play very well. They've got speed in the outfield. Alfredo de España is the left fielder. Raul Santos in center can really go get him. He's got a strong arm. And the young star in the making, Yoelqui Cespedes, 19 years old, good speed and a great arm. Graciel Ayala, Benitez, and Saavedra around the infield. The veteran Frank Morihon does the catching for Cuba.
All right, here is Fryman, 6'8", power hitter, 30-year-old, a couple years with the Oakland Athletics. Still trying to find his groove in the minor leagues. Duke University. Davis not a threat to run at first.
Fryman was originally drafted out of Duke by San Diego. He had a 2-home run game in August of 2014 against the Atlanta Braves in Atlanta. Hit them both off Mike Minor.
Ball in the dirt, and now Davis is going to scoot down to second. The ball rolls towards the Israel dugout. Morihon runs it down, and Israel's got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
Not a very good effort by Morihon. He tries to backhand this ball instead of blocking it. It kicks off the glove and goes over toward the Israeli dugout, and that gets a runner into scoring position. Morihon, much better catcher than that last effort.
Fryman had a home run in Korea. And the fastball misses away, and now it's 2-1.
This is the first time Israel has played against Cuba in international competition, and I think now they have recognized that you're not going to get too many fastballs to hit, so you better change your focus and try to stay opposite field. Don't try to pull Intenza.
And Buck, I think the other side of the equation is Cuba will learn that Israel may be the most patient team here, because you take a look at an exasperated Carlos Marti, 21 walks in just 3 games in Korea for this Israeli team. Their on-base percentage was .431.
Now, they don't have any current major leaguers, but they have several players that have played in the major leagues and have extensive professional career in North America.
3-1. Fryman gets a breaking ball and missed it, and kind of shook his head. That one hung out over the plate. If you're new to the World Baseball Classic, if you were following things in Korea, this is the Tokyodome. This is home of the flagship franchise in NPB, Nippon Professional Baseball, the Japanese major leagues. The Yomiuri Giants play here. And Japan tonight has a showdown with the Netherlands. A 7 o'clock start here in Tokyo. This is a noon start with a 3-2 coming to Fryman. Breaking ball, Fryman, center field, off his fist. Santos got it! Bobbles, holds, and it's a catch. A run-saving catch from Raul Santos.
Well, we told you they had great defense in the outfield, and Santos can really run. This ball has a chance to get down, but he makes the shoestring catch to save a run for Cuba.
The Teflon roof, much like the old Metrodome or Tropicana Fields in Major League Baseball, here at the Tokyodome, this place holds 45,000. The crowd not that big right now, but throughout the day it will grow as Despagne steps in, and Despagne blasts one to left field. Galen back, gone, 10 rows deep. Alfredo Despagne is in the house, and Cuba is up 1-0.
Well, Marquis trying to get ahead of Despagne, and Alfredo ambushed that fastball. He had 2 home runs in the first round, and We knew that he was the one guy you have to be careful with. You can see trying to go down and away, and Marquis missed his spot. Up and in, a no-doubter off the bat of Despagne. The 30-year-old, truly an international slugger. He holds the single-season record in Cuba with 36 home runs, and he knows that that one's not going to stay in the yard.
William Saavedra is up now. But I'll tell you what, it was Despagne with one swing of the bat that really changed the ball game against Australia. His grand slam, ooh, fastball up and in. Marquis, maybe a little message. And the count is 2-1.
Fastball upstairs, Despagne. You mentioned that grand slam. That came off a 20-year-old lefty. Lachlan Wells for Australia.
Our friends are back, Buck.
Yep.
They found the Cuban coffee here in Tokyo, apparently. And Saavedra walks. Marquis may be a little rattled there. Yeah, Despagne turned a 1-0 game into a 4-1 game late with that grand slam against Australia. And here he opens round 2, game 1, with a mammoth home run. And here is Gracial, Yoris Bell, the third baseman. Of all the players that we had not seen and got our first look at, this may have been the most impressive. Gracial really swung the bat well in the first round.
7 for 12 with 3 doubles in that first round. He drove in a couple, and you're right, he really opened up a lot of eyes with a very successful start to this tournament.
Chops one towards short. Burcham has it, bobbles, throws, not in time. Safe at first is Gracial. A difficult play for the young shortstop.
Scott Burcham, just 23 years old. He hasn't made it out of A ball yet with the Colorado Rockies, and he's got to make a quicker decision on that ball. He had no chance to get the runner at second, but watch how he looks back over his shoulder thinking he might get a force out, and that proves costly. When you recognize the slow chopper off the bat of Gracial, you've got to go and take the out at first base. Concede that base runner's ability to get to second. He had no chance at all to get the force out.
This is the second round of the World Baseball Classic. There is no replay, as Major League Baseball fans know it. There is replay for home runs and fan interference on home runs. And when the 2 advance here and 2 advance out of San Diego to Dodger Stadium for the Final Four, if you will, there will be full-blown replay up to Major League standards. Marquis misses down low to Carlos Benitez. There's nobody out. Cuba, a home run from Despagne, a walk to Saavedra, and Gracial beats out that little grounder. And Marquis, 17 pitches in.
Yeah, Cuba will bunt in this situation, even though they've scored a run. They got 2 men on, and down in the bottom of the order, they will go ahead and use that bunt. That's something that's kind of unique to this tournament. Carlos Martí, the veteran manager for Cuba, knows that runs can be tough to come by. So when you get an opportunity to move the runners up, they're going to take it.
So Benitez squares. And the pitch is down low, and Marquis not sharp. Counts 2-1.
Marquis is a very good fielder, and certainly if he gets comeback right to the mound, they've got a shot of getting the lead runner at third, but he's got to throw a strike here.
There's the bunt, and it's wide of third. The count evens at 2-2. And Marquis is also one of the emotional leaders of this Israeli team. Always a guy that used a lot of emotion when he played in the major leagues. Staten Island guy. He's 38 now, and this could be a platform buck, if all goes well, for him to dip his foot back in the major league pool.
Absolutely. He certainly wants another opportunity to pitch in the big leagues.
2-2. Misses out. And he prepared for this World Baseball Classic like he was preparing for a full major league season. So this isn't something that just a few weeks ago he dusted off the glove and the cleats and started playing catch. Jerry Weinstein setting his defense. (3-2). And Benitez swings and misses. Marquis comes back and gets a big strikeout. This is round 2, and so the pitch count limits from round 1 are gone. 80 pitches for starters. And if you throw 30 pitches, you need a day off. Championship round increases once they get to Dodger Stadium to 95 pitches. Marquis trying to limit the damage of this second inning. Morejon, the number 8 hitter, better known for his glove and his throwing arm than his bat.
He's certainly a candidate to ground into a double play, and Marquis is well aware of that. Jason's got a good sinking fastball. It might get him a ground ball.
A slow ground ball. Kelly on to first in time to get the out. So there's 2 outs,
sinker.
but there's 2 men in scoring position.
Yeah, he threw the sinker, but Morejon didn't hit it hard enough. Kelly made the right choice, go to first base and get the out. But now there are 2 outs, and Marquis in a little bit of a jam. This is not your normal number 9 hitter. Yoelkis Cespedes had a good start to his tournament, had a rough final game when he struck out 4 times.
The thing that Cespedes has going for him is his manager, Carlos Martí, along with an incredible amount of talent. But he plays for Martí during the Cuban season for Granma. They won the title. So it's for a 19-year-old comforting to have his manager managing him here on the international stage. No swing. That's a major league umpire down there, Corey Blazer.
Well, Martí was asked after the game against Australia, how come you let Cespedes hit for a 4th time? He had struck out 3 previous at-bats. He said, hey, we've got to give this youngster an opportunity to grow. So there was no reason to take him out. We plan on him being a star player for us for many years, and I wasn't going to take him out. That's when you can really crush a player's confidence, by taking him out in the middle of a game.
1-1 coming. To short, Burcham across the diamond in time, and Marquis limits the damage. But the damage done. Alfredo Despaigne homers again. In Tokyo, if you have time, check out the Japanese Garden. There are so many things to see. This city is enormous, and I mean enormous. But if you know somebody, they can take you to some pretty cool places. And Alfredo Despaigne can take you about 450 feet if you'd like. He's done that again, a long home run. Cuba 1-0 lead. Israel back to work. Zach Bornstein, Ryan Lavarnway, and Blake Galen, 5, 6, 7 hitters against Norvis and Tenza.
Bornstein from Arlington Heights outside of Chicago, played at Reno last year. He's a former draft pick of the Angels. Started out in the Angels system in 2011. In Reno last year, he got in 120 ball games, hit 272 with 9 homers.
Bornstein slices that to left. Despaigne in and there, and he makes the catch. Israel still looking for their first hit.
They hit 316 in the first round, and they believe they've got some good bats in their lineup.
Well, this is one of them here, Ryan Lavarnway.
MVP of the first round in Seoul, Korea. Lavarnway grew up in Southern California, went to Yale where he played baseball. Started out his career with the Boston Red Sox. He's been in 134 major league games.
Earlier today, he was presented with the MVP award from that Korean pool. Lavarnway tore it up. He was 5 for 9, a homer and 3 RBIs. And he smokes one to right. Cespedes in his tracks is there and makes the catch.
That's the way you have to approach hitting against Intenza. Stay on the pitches. Don't try to do too much. You're not going to get challenged by Intenza with the fastball. Lavarnway did a good job staying on it, but hit it right to the right fielder.
Well, Israel has barreled up a couple here in the second inning. And with 2 outs, Blake Galen, left-handed hitter out of UNLV, guy that has banged around independent ball, minor league baseball. He's 31.
Last year he played for the Lancaster Barnstormers in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and played for Butch Hobson, former third baseman of the Red Sox. He's been in several different organizations, was in AAA with the Blue Jays in Buffalo in 2013. So there are experienced professional players up and down this Israel lineup.
That one catches the corner, and it's 2-1. See the pitch count at 30. Remember, second round, 80 is the limit for a starter. And Intenza didn't last long against Japan. Carlos Marti went to his bullpen in that ball game. Game in which Cuba lost. Two.
One concern for the Cubans, the bullpen a little bit thin. They don't have their big right-hander, Vladimir Garcia, available. He pitched his last time out and threw 50 pitches, so he can't pitch again until the 15th. So they don't have that veteran that can give them multiple innings in the middle of the game, so they're a little bit thinner than they would like.
He should be able to, if everything goes well, get 80 pitches out of Intenza. The Cuban pitchers, unlike a lot of the major league pitchers that you see in this tournament, have been pitching all winter because that's when the Cuban season is. So they're ready to go. They're in mid-season form in terms of being stretched out. And a walk to Galen. And Israel continues to be patient at the plate. Tyler Krieger coming up now. Krieger, a young infielder out of Clemson University, and the Cleveland Indians have high hopes for him. He's coming off a really nice season in their single-A club.
He's 23 years old. Lots of Southern Cal players on this team. He's from Laguna Hills. He played at Clemson, as you mentioned, Rich, a 4th-round pick.
Galen back with a dive. If you're thinking stolen base, Israel did not steal a base in Korea. But there may not be a more creative manager in this tournament than Jerry Weinstein.
Well, you mentioned Weinstein, a terrific college coach. 23 seasons at Sacramento City College. He sent 35 players to the major leagues. He had quite a connection with the University of Miami as well. He'd get those players for 2 years, and then the ones that didn't sign and go into pro ball, he sent them on to the University of Miami. Greg Vaughn comes to mind. For Fernando Vina played for him. Chris Bazio, he's had a host of major leaguers that have come through that program at Sac City.
And full disclosure, you did not play for him, but you came out of Sac City.
I played there in 1967, well before Jerry was the coach. Played for Del Bandy, terrific coach in his own right.
And if you know, I mean, if you follow college baseball, if you really follow that sport, Sac City dominant, and Weinstein's reputation incredible. Just a great strategy guy, a great tactician. His team's always so disciplined. And I know firsthand, I played against him in Sac City. They had the best pickoff plays, the best cutoff plays, the best bunt coverages, the best hit and run sequences. They did it all. And he's brought that here to Israel. A fly ball hit to left. Despagne at the track, and he makes the catch. Young Tyler Krieger hit it well. A Despagne homer, the difference right now. Great tradition of baseball in Cuba. In the Caribbean, it's the most populated country, and maybe the most mysterious. But as far as baseball goes, a long history of Cuban players in the major leagues, especially over the last 5-6 years. That talent has really made an impact in the major league game. Cespedes, Puig, Chapman, Ledmes Diaz, Jorge Soler, Abreu, Tomas, Gurriel.
A couple of Gurriels now, as Lourdes Gurriel Jr. has signed with the Blue Jays. He's in their spring training camp. Yulieski Gurriel scheduled to play first base for the Astros.
Roel Santos swings and misses. Jason Marquis went 1-2-3 in the first, had 8 pitches, but labored in the second, 19 pitches, including a walk, a base hit, and of course the homer to Despagne. Here is Ayala for the second time. You know, we mention all these great Cuban names of present, but you'd be remiss if you didn't talk about the pioneers of Cuban baseball, guys that came over. And one name comes to mind, Cookie Rojas, who broke down a lot of barriers and had a great major league career. Was a teammate of yours in Kansas City.
Absolutely, a terrific baseball mind, and Cookie came over early in the 60s, and there are so many players that have made their way out of Cuba. Another of my former teammates, Jose Cardinal, left Cuba when he was 16 years old, and his mother told him at the time, of course, the government was turning over, and she says, you can never come back, and he left it as a 16-year-old and signed with the Giants.
That one smoked in the gap, right center field. Fold is going to run it down, and he makes the catch. That's one of the luxuries of having Sam Fold in center field, is he can go gap to gap and run just about everything down.
Terrific center fielder, and he's a guy that could really fill a void on a championship caliber team in the majors. Left-handed hitter, brings the speed dimension, can play all the outfield positions, and you know what? You got a good team. You need a fourth outfielder. Sam Fold really fits that bill.
And that really is one of the backstories to this Israel team. And they're not alone with other countries and other teams in the World Baseball Classic, but especially with Israel. Fold is a guy that needs a place to play, and as you pointed out, he's got major league skills. And many of these players hoping that their run here in the World Baseball Classic will catch the eye of scouts or organizations. Cepeda, center field. Fold has room, and he makes the catch, and Marquis settles down in the third. One-run game here. First game, second round. Baseball and Israel are just getting started. And as the sport grows, certainly the success of this team will help. Tell you what, this guy has really helped. Scott Burcham, the young shortstop. Sam Fold and Ty Kelly do up as well. Burcham had a great defensive series and helped offensively in Korea. Had some big hits and some big moments.
Burcham's 23 years old. He was drafted by Colorado out of Sacramento State, Cal State University at Sacramento. He's played 2 summers, played in Boise in 2015, Asheville in the South Atlantic League in 2016. Jerry Weinstein, the manager of Team Israel, recognized his defensive prowess and said, I want this guy on my team. And some of the people in the Colorado organization said, you want Scotty Burcham? He says, yeah. He said, I need to tighten up the defense, and he has been terrific.
Well,
made a great double play against the Netherlands in that 4-2 win as the Netherlands was trying to mount a comeback.
Well, if anybody would know, it would be Jerry Weinstein, because he's been in Colorado's player development department the last 5 years. He's actually going to manage Hartford in AA. He could be managing Burcham. And he hits a hard ground ball to short. Ayala goes to first and gets the out. I like what you said about Sam Fold. There's a place for him somewhere in the big leagues.
No question about it. He can play any position, and he's a veteran that has good speed. He's got a pretty strong arm, but he is fearless in making sliding, diving catches, and I just think there's a place for him. You get toward the end of spring training and you start to look at your roster and say, man, you know, we could use a left-handed bat with a little speed, an outfielder, and Sam Fold certainly, in my mind, would be an asset for any contending ball club. His game might not play that well for a non-contending team. He doesn't have much power, but boy, you put him on a good team and pick his spots, I think he can be a heck of an asset.
I think also when he's done playing baseball, and Fold is 35, there's a place for him in a front office somewhere in Major League Baseball, and an important place. Stanford guy, econ major, very sharp. Actually went to work for Stats Inc. at one point during his playing career. Here's a 2-1. And a diving stop by Gracial in time to get Fold.
Gracial had a couple of errors in that first round, but he has tightened up his defense. He made a couple of ill-advised throws early in that first round. This time he snares a potential base hit, gloves it, pops to his feet, and we've seen him display a strong arm, and he throws out Sam Fold, second out of the inning.
Bucket, in baseball terms, even though they're down 1-0, and you managed in the big leagues and in this event, Israel's having some really good at bats. They've hit the ball hard in all 3 innings against Intenza, and this is the second time through for Ty Kelly.
Yeah, they've got a little better idea about what they're dealing with now from Intenza. I think early on they expected a little more velocity from the right-hander, but that's not the case. He's not a power pitcher by any means, and you have to look soft against him.
Kelly turns on one. Kelly's an intriguing guy too. He's a switch hitter. He's hit and been able to get on base at a very prolific rate in the minor leagues. His career average in the minors, 280. His career on base is 381. Played his college ball at UC Davis.
Same place you played, right?
And it's ironic to have a UC Davis Aggie and a Sac State Hornet on the same side of the infield. Those 2 schools are rivals, but they are together here with Burcham and Kelly. 1-0, Cuba. Big showdown in Miami. USA, the Dominican Republic, 5-0 USA. Manny Machado, who grew up in Miami, driving one to left and getting the Dominican started, and then with 2 on, Nelson Cruz against Andrew Miller, a 3-run shot, and the Dominican Republic takes down Team USA 7-5 in front of a raucous crowd at Marlins Park.
37,000 in attendance there at Marlins Park. And Marcus Stroman started against Edinson Volquez. Stroman shut out Team Dominican over 4 2/3 on just 3 hits. Volquez gave up 3 runs, just 1 earned run. But then Andrew Miller, who had such a great postseason, gives up that home run to Cruz, and the Dominicans put down Team USA. Dominican Republic is 2-0, USA 1-1.
Despaigne takes in. Now, when these two met in the second inning, Marquis threw 1 pitch and it went 430 or 40 feet. A solo home run by Despaigne. In case you missed it, watch the smoke come off of this thing.
Well, he squared it up. That's the 3rd home run Despaigne's hit in this series. He had 2 in the first round and gets a home run in his first AB against Marquis in the second inning.
And Marquis would get into more trouble in the second with a walk and a hit, but then he'd get 3 consecutive outs. And since that single by Gracial, he's retired 6 in a row. Still lots of scouts here. In fact, more scouts here in the second round than the first round. Many were in Korea, and they've come over here to Tokyo. Despaigne pulls that one wide of third. We told you at the outset, he's a star in Cuba and a star here in Japan. Just signed with the SoftBank Hawks. Fukuoka. Bounce to short. Burcham backhands and makes a nice play. World Baseball Classic 101. For those of you new to the event, this is second round here, Tokyo, and then San Diego will serve as the second round over in the United States. The championship round, the final 4, if you will, get to Los Angeles. And so 2 advance from here and 2 advance from San Diego. 80 pitches per game is the pitch count limit in the second round. That one's going to find center field, and a base hit for Saavedra. He's been on base twice. How many pitches do you think Jerry Weinstein will get out of Marquis? Do you think he's up to 80?
Yeah, I think he's up to 80. He told us earlier he's in good shape. He feels good about the way he came out of his 2 appearances in Korea. And Marquis done a pretty good job. He had a rough second inning, but has been able to settle down a bit. 44 pitches to this point in the ball game.
Now, you mentioned the bench coach, Pat Doyle. The coaching staff also includes a veteran. He sits at the very back of the dugout there. There's Tom Gamboa, and he's behind Weinstein, and behind Tom is the Mensch on the bench, sporting the colors of Team Israel.
They've had the Mensch on the bench throughout this tournament, and he's been a mascot for them, of course. And the Mensch on the bench was a product, of course, and it's kind of along the lines of the elf on the shelf. The Mensch on the bench has been good luck so far for this Israeli team.
And they take him everywhere. In fact, he's more popular than any of the players. There he is on the plane. It's Barry Weinberg, the trainer for Israel. And yesterday during the workout, the Mensch was on the bench, and a great fundraiser would have been to charge $5 for every selfie or photo that anybody wanted to take with him, including you and I. I mean, we're guilty of it as well, but most of the press, yeah, they wanted to talk to some of the players, but the first thing they wanted to see was the Mensch on the bench take a photo and go from there.
Well, Moshe, the Mensch, made his appearance on television on Shark Tank, as the developer went to Shark Tank and got some cooperation with some of the sharks, and now it's become quite a popular item.
Well, that's deep information from Buck Martinez.
Hey, I'm a big fan of this tournament, you know. Anytime there's a little bit of a different twist, I dig deep to get the information.
I'm looking at colleges and on-base percentage, minor league numbers. Pitch in the dirt. Lavarnway knocks it down. The strikeout of Graciel. This is Carlos Benitez, the second baseman for Cuba. If you're just joining us, Alfredo Despaigne, the big slugger for Cuba, has a solo homer. Israel offensively has hit the ball hard, but is hitless in their first 3 innings. Jason Marquis has had 3 good innings and 1 bad one. A liner to left, slide there, and Galen has it. Outstanding catch by Blake Galen in left, and Marquis is through 4. 1-0, Cuba on top of Israel.
Team Israel, it's their first World Baseball Classic.
It's about time that we set it off.
And the hits just keep on coming here for Team Israel.
Bang, 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 bang. This fire's a weapon. Bang, bang.
Swing and a miss, and Israel sweeps through Seoul.
Yes, they did. Ike Davis pulls the first pitch, the bottom of the 4th foul. Rich Schwartz, Buck Martinez in Tokyo. And by sweeping through Seoul, Israel here is the #1 team out of that pool, and they get the #2 team out of the Tokyo pool. Cuba later on tonight. The Netherlands, who also came from Korea, takes on Japan. Japan swept through this pool. Davis doesn't like the call on an off-speed pitch, and it's 1-2. They call it Pool E. It's the second round, and it's pool play again, so everybody plays each other. You get 3 games, and the top 2 teams will advance to the final round at Dodger Stadium. Davis takes a changeup from Intenza. Morejon spins to talk to Todd Titchener, the home plate umpire, and the count's 2-2.
I had a good conversation with Morejon, the Cuban catcher, and he said the umpiring in this tournament has been terrific. He said they're very aggressive at calling strikes, and he likes that. He's got a bunch of pitchers on his team that need some borderline calls, and they're going to throw a lot of soft breaking balls, a lot of fastballs just off the plate. But he noticed the difference between the Cuban Series Nacional and this tournament. The umpiring has been pretty consistent.
Major League umpires and then international umpires, and those that are international umpires are all crew chiefs and have extensive experience in international play, the best of the best. 3-2 is out, and Ike Davis has worked a pair of walks against Noervis and Tenza.
They have shocked the world so far, going 3-0 in a tournament. They were the 16th seed, if you will, in this 16-team tournament, and they had a terrific start to their tournament.
Buck, you managed Team USA in 2006, and I think one of the lessons that everybody learns that's around this event is that in pool play, one thing you don't want to do is lose to the underdog, and Korea certainly did that. Chinese Taipei did that early, and that set them back, and they were both eliminated. Israel is the underdog in this pool as well. You know what? That's a role that they relish, they're fine with. In fact, I think they love it.
They failed to qualify in 2012 for the 2013 World Baseball Classic, and they lost a heartbreaking game in the qualifier to Spain. Josh Zeid, who is the closer on this team, lost that game, and they were all disappointed. They were anticipating their first trip to the WBC in 13. So Jerry Weinstein, the manager of this team, had the 12 players that played in that qualifier address this team at the start of this tournament. And the speeches that those players gave were very emotional and got everybody really to understand the flavor of this tournament and how intense it is.
Well, Zeid especially, because he was, as you noted, he was on the mound at the end of that third game in the qualifier in 12 that would have had them into the tournament in 13 and lost it. But as a little bit of redemption, Zeid was on the mound when they won the final game to qualify here, and he had a marvelous round in Korea. In fact, his 3 innings against Korea in that opening game for Israel really set the tone. He got the win. They beat him in extra innings and then obviously took off from there.
Azide had a win and a save in the 3 games in Korea. He threw 4 2/3 and allowed just 1 hit. He struck out 5. But Team Israel had a minicamp in Hudson Valley because they had an artificial field. That's what they were going to play on in this tournament.
Fryman pops it up. Motorhone doesn't see it, but it's going to end up over the screen. Now the bullpens here at the Tokyodome are hidden from view. They are behind the dugouts. There's a television in there, and you can see the relievers watching the game. Both dugouts can see the other bullpen and their own bullpen, which is just as important for managers.
Well, the left-hander has not pitched in the tournament yet, Torres, but Martinez has appeared in the tournament.
Davis at first, Fryman on a 2-2, checks his swing and goes.
Boy, it is so difficult to keep your emotions in check. Fryman just goes too far, and again, an off-speed pitch. We talked about how the soft pitches from Intenza would be effective against Team Israel, and even though they have faced him now, this is the second time through the order, they still haven't been able to really buy into it that they're not going to get fastballs when they expect.
3 walks but no hits for Israel right now. And here's the right fielder, Zach Bornstein. Bornstein fouls it back. He's really had a nice run in the minor leagues. He was the California League MVP in 2013. As you noted, had a good year in AAA Reno last season. Eastern Illinois University.
4 hits in the first round, and Team Israel looking for their first hit in this ball game. They haven't been able to solve Intenza.
That was that 2013 season. Inland Empire is a good place to hit.
That's in the Cal League, and 28 home runs in California League. Pretty good power. See, Intenza threw that last lob over to first base. I think it was a little bit too high for Saavedra. Got up into the lights, and he had a little trouble picking it up out of the bank of lights.
Off speed pitch, and that's popped up, and it'll get out of play. Generally, in the Tokyodome, and this is true about just about every dome, when it's full, it warms up and the ball flies. It's chilly today here in Tokyo. The crowd right now, I would say probably about 10,000 to start. But as we noted, it'll grow as the day goes on. It's a single admission ticket. And so the fans that are here, there'll be fans coming in early for that Japan-Netherlands game. Game started here at noon. Despagne, and that's into the Excite seats, which we should explain as well. See Despagne up against those seats. There is protective netting that rings from the screen all the way down the lines for people in the seats, except for the Excite seats, which are much like postseason seats that are added in Major League games. If you sit in those seats, you're in front of the net. However, as you see, those seats have something in them for you. A glove and a helmet, and fans have the option of putting the helmet on and putting the glove on so that the Excite seats don't get too exciting. Changeup in a beauty from Intenza.
Another 2-strike off-speed pitch from Intenza. He's thrown 67 pitches, back-to-back strikeouts after the leadoff walk, and you can see the hitter's still out in front and just haven't been able to throttle back and sit back and wait on those off-speed offerings.
So the first 2 strikeouts come this inning, and here is Lavarnway. I told you about Lavarnway's pedigree. the Yale University. Great career there. He won a batting title. He hit close to 500, 467. And hold on here, Jerry Weinstein is out of the dugout. He wants to know if there was a balk. The home plate umpire, Todd Tichenor and Weinstein.
Getting an explanation, and Tichenor trying to explain why it wasn't a balk. And it looked like Intenza moved back and then stepped off the rubber. See how he began right there, and that's why they felt like it was a balk. And you can see Lavarnway say, wait a minute, he started his delivery, started to go into his set position. But Israel doesn't get the call, and I think Weinstein had a beef. Intenza had his foot on the rubber and actually started to move into his set position, but then stepped off.
Once you start, you can't stop. Davis at first, and 2 outs. Lavarnway hits it hard and by the diving Graciel. It's a fair ball. Down into the corner it goes. Davis racing for third. They will send him. Here comes Davis. He's going to score, and it's tied. And Lavarnway, the hero in Korea, has a big hit here in Tokyo.
Lavarnway had a good at bat his first time up. He lined out to the right fielder, and here he's able to keep this ball just inside the bag. Trevor Grieve, the home plate or the third base umpire, waves it fair, and by the time Despaigne comes over and plays it out of the corner, Davis comes all the way around the bases. Despaigne had to go get it deep into the corner, and Lavarnway has another RBI, his 6th hit so far in this tournament.
So a 1-1 game. Here's Galen now, and you got Lavarnway out in scoring position. That ball just fair. Remember, by rule, a ball down the line just has to go over the base when it's on the ground in fair territory. And it's still a fair ball if it lands in foul territory past the base. And it looked like in that case the ball was over the bag while on the ground and then was foul as it landed. But since it was over the bag on the ground, it was a fair ball. One and a fastball up and in.
Just another look at this swing from Lavarnway, and the ball bouncing down toward the bag, goes over the bag, and the umpire, Trevor Grieve, waved it fair, and it looked like it cut right over the corner of the bag. Excuse me, that's Jens Vader, the third base umpire.
And a time out from Frank Morejon. Vader was trying to evade, if you will, the ball as well, but he hung in there long enough to get a look at it. 72 pitches now here in the 4th for Intenza, so he's approaching 80. And we told you that Israel's really good at chewing up pitch counts, which is crucial in this tournament, especially at 65 pitch limit in the first round and an 80 pitch limit here.
You may exceed that limit in order to finish an at bat, but there's double barrel action for Team Cuba in their bullpen. Remember, they don't have one of their big horses in their bullpen available today. Vladimir Garcia cannot pitch until the 15th.
Okay, then pops it up. And it's my goodness, it's Morejon who ends up catching it by the mound. Neither Graciel or Saavedra were of any help. It's 1-1.
You don't look.
We talked about all the great Cuban stars in the game today. Yoenis Cespedes in the 2009 World Baseball Classic was a force.
He had 480 in that Classic, had an OPS over 4, a 1.4, and then he catapulted his great success with the national team in Cuba into a great major league career. Made it to the big leagues in 2012, was second in the Rookie of the Year voting to Mike Trout when he came up with Oakland. He spent 5 years in the big leagues, and his half-brother looks like he might be on the same path. He doesn't have the same physique at just 5'7", but he's only 19 years old, and you can see in Cuba he had a 6 home run, 45 RBI season in 90 games, a 5-tool player that's still growing, and we have seen him in this tournament show signs that he too might become a star player in the major leagues one day.
Here is Morejon. Or, you know what? There's a pinch hitter for Morejon. Morejon due up, and I wonder if he either aggravated or irritated something, having to go out to the mound and make that catch. And remember, earlier in round 1, Morejon crashed over the rail and didn't get any help from his teammates. Said he was all right, Buck, but if he's leaving for a pinch hitter, he's not all right.
Yeah, and it's a surprise move. Obviously, Marti would love to have the veteran Morejon behind the plate. And I asked Frank today before the start of this game how he felt.
It's off the end of the bat and an out there at first base.
And he said he felt fine, but he had to go all the way out to the mound to make this play on the pop-up. You see the catcher looks up, and this is a play for the third baseman or the first baseman, but Morejon's getting no help from either corner infielder and has to go all the way out there. And remember the other day on this pop-up over near the dugout, his own dugout, he has no help whatsoever from any of his teammates, and he crashes in to the dugout. He injured his side on that play where he fell into the dugout, and I spoke to him about that today. He said, no, I'm okay, I feel fine, but it makes you believe that he might not be 100%, and that's why he's been taken out of this game.
He got no help on the rail, and he got no help on the pop-up, which he had to catch at the mound. And he's gone now, the 0-1 to Cespedes, and he dribbles it out to short, Burcham on to first. And Jason Marquis has 2 quick outs here in the 5th. His pitch count in a better spot than Intenz's. He's at 56 pitches.
Well, and that's the value of having Jason Marquis, the veteran. Even though he struggled early in this game, he threw 19 pitches in the second inning and gave up a home run and a walk. 9 pitches in the third, 14 in the fourth, and he is breezing here in the 5th.
Into right. Roel Santos with a base hit. And now we'll see if Carlos Marti wants to turn the running game on. Santos certainly can do that. He's not a polished base stealer, but he's got a lot of speed. And
Yeah.
Lavarnway is out to talk to Marquis about that very thing.
In a 1-1 game with Santos aboard, we have seen him make things happen, and I think the one thing that Lavarnway mentioned to Marquis, hey, just make him stop. Give me a shot at throwing him out. And Jason, of course, has so much experience shutting down the major league running game. You can bet he's going to vary his set here in this situation.
Foot on the turf for Santos, and he's running on the first pitch. Lavarnway's throw is in time. He's out. Cuba runs, and Ryan Lavarnway throws out Roel Santos.
Santos got a good break, but he peeks back in at the catcher, and Lavarnway delivers a strike to end the inning.
Bottom of the 5th, halfway through, and a game summary to bring you up to speed. 1-1, Cuba and Israel. Alfredo Despaigne, a solo homer. It's what he does. Hit 2 in round 1 and a bomb to left off of Jason Marquis. But Ryan Lavarnway has tied it up. Israel has chased Cuba's starter. Now they get a little lefty who throws hard. And Yoenis Yerra, as he'll take over. You see Yerra, a starter in the Cuban League, 13-2, the ERA mid-2s.
Yerra took the loss in the loss to Team Japan in Game 1.
Krieger's ground ball is off the leg of Gracial. And Israel has a base runner.
Boy, a hot shot handcuffed the third baseman Gracia. The carom went out into no man's land in front of the shortstop. Tricky hop, looked like it caught him on the shin. He never got a glove on it, and there's no chance for Ayala. It's short. Leadoff man's aboard.
One of the things that Israel has in their lineup is versatility. They've got lefty bats, they've got righty bats, they've got switch hitters. And Krieger is aboard at first. Let's see how they play it with Burcham, the number 9 man. He'll square to bunt, pull it back, and slash it foul. And remember, Morejon is out. Alarcon is in. Yosvani Alarcon.
Well, they gave Burcham the Butcher Boy fake bunt swing away. Now they might just play straight hit and run here. Burcham can handle the bat. He had the game-winning hit in the extra inning game win over Korea, infield hit. And then he had a squeeze bunt that really opened up the floodgates against Taipei. He can handle a bat. Weinstein has tremendous confidence in Burcham's ability to put the ball in play.
Top of the order, Sam Fold and Ty Kelly due up next. Did he pull back or did he go after it? Looks like he pulled back in time. Sacramento State, a good hitter there, a prolific hitter there, second most hits in school history. Was in Asheville, one of the great minor league stops, single A for the Rockies. Went after a breaking ball, and just back is Krieger, who can run. Krieger had 21 stolen bases in that season in Asheville.
Well, Krieger drifts a little bit too far on the failed bunt attempt, and he's able to get back in ahead of the tag of Saavedra. Watch him bounce off and anticipating this ball being bunted. But he's able to slide back in safely.
And now Burcham now with a count 1-2. Krieger has a foot on the turf. Burcham lifts a fly ball. Santos, much like Sam Fold, goes gap to gap quite well. And he makes the catch there. Now you've got Fold himself coming up for Israel. Buck, I need to alert you that this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the World Baseball Classic, Incorporated, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent, even by that guy, the mensch on the bench. So here's Fold. He can handle the bat, whether it's bunting for a hit or hitting and running. We told you that Jerry Weinstein, legendary coach at Sacramento City College and a master tactician.
Well, he will do many things might not be in the book. He'll start runners in different counts and play hit and run with one out. He can do a lot of things here with Fold at the plate.
Breaking ball from Yera.
23 years as a junior college coach and won a national championship. And as we mentioned earlier, he has sent 35 of his players to the major leagues. Tremendous resume.
And that's major leagues. That's not just signing professional contracts.
Oh, shit.
Fastball at the letters. And Fold now behind the count 0-2.
Sam Fold, 598 major league games. He actually has a better batting average against left-handed pitchers than he does against righties. 231 against lefties, 26 against righties. But right here, he's got to shorten up, just put the bat on the ball and try to keep the inning alive, stay out of the double play.
You got speed at first with Krieger, and there's one out in a 1-1 game. Cuba scored first, the home run by Despagne in the second inning. Runner goes, hit and run, and Fold pokes it into the seats.
Yeah, there's what we were talking about with Weinstein. He throws the book out the window, and with Fold hitting in a situation with a double play in play, he starts the runner at first base, just hoping that he can stay out of a double play to give Ty Kelly, the on-deck hitter, an opportunity to hit with a runner in scoring position.
But he's so good, Buck, that he threw the book out the window, and he has his own book, which might be better than the one he threw out the window.
He's got plenty of experience. He started his collegiate career as a catcher for UCLA.
All right, now the count is 0-2. Krieger has had a chance to read this delivery from Yera for a couple of hitters. And Fold strikes out.
We have seen this from Yera throughout this tournament. He's got a good fastball. He's not afraid to use it. He makes a good pitch down and away to strike out Fold. Yera's a strikeout pitcher in Cuba, and he's racked up big numbers punching out hitters, and that time he gets a former major league hitter with a good fastball.
All right, here's Ty Kelly. Kelly, one of those switch hitters in the lineup. 2 outs, and the likelihood that Krieger is going to run increases here. He's got a bigger lead, and Kelly, a very patient hitter, takes in.
Alarcon, the catcher, taking over for the starter, Frank Morihone, came on to pinch hit. He's got a strong arm. I think his arm strength is actually better than Morihone's.
We looked, and we've been keeping an eye on that Cuban bench, and Morihone has not been there since he came out of the game. So
yeah,
obviously getting treatment.
Makes you believe he did leave because of an injury. I mean, he is one of the leaders on this team, and oftentimes we've seen him in conversation with the manager, Marti, during the course of these games.
Kelly takes a strike, and it's 1-1. Kelly, an interesting path to the big leagues. He was drafted by the Orioles in the 13th round out of UC Davis, and then Seattle, St. Louis, Toronto. Finally ended up with the Mets, and those teams liked him. They liked him for his ability to get on base, a good hitter, very patient hitter. Runner goes. Alarcon's throw, that's in time. Both teams try to steal a base. Neither team arrives safely at second. And Yosvani Alarcon throws out Tyler Krieger. 1-1. Great ball game here. Israel and Cuba. Oh, Tokyodome City, lot to do here. Great restaurants and shops. You got an amusement park, and you've got the Tokyodome, home of the Yomiuri Giants, home of the World Baseball Classic. This is round 2, game 1. Jason Marquis ventures into the 6th for Israel, and he splits the plate with a fastball at the knees. 45,000. That's the capacity here for the Tokyodome, and all kinds of cool stuff has gone on. Breaking ball, bouncer to short. Burcham. I mean, the Tokyodome has housed not only great baseball moments since it opened in 1988. Did you know, Buck Martinez, that Michael Jackson played 22 shows here?
How about that?
The Rolling Stones were here 10 times. Prince was here 6 times. Madonna 7 times. They've played basketball, they've played football, and lots of baseball here. Here is Cepeda, and he fouls one off.
Well, Jason Marquis is doing exactly what they hoped he would. He was a little bit shaky in the second inning, but has he ever settled down? Mixing his pitches very well, thrown just 61 pitches to this point, working in the 6th inning.
Cepeda's fly to center twice, and a good changeup at 81. And the more he's out there, the more polished he looks. He wobbled in the second, gave up the home run, a walk, and a single. Since then, just a couple of singles. Oh, let her high changeup, and he freezes Cepeda.
Jason Marquis, the veteran of 15 major league seasons. He's unpredictable, and boy, has he settled down. You look at his pitch count, how he was able to overcome the 19-pitch second inning, 9 1/3. He's pitching here with 2 outs in the 6th.
Well, here's Despagne, a long home run in the 2nd and a grounder to short in the 4th.
I would be very surprised if they give him much to hit in this situation. First pitch slider off the plate. Let's see if they can't get him to chase. Another slider. Despagne is not going to get anything from Marquis to hit in this situation. He had a first pitch home run off Marquis in the 2nd.
You know, if he gets Despagne in the next pitch or two, you could get another inning out of him. Despagne is not going after that breaking ball. Israel's bullpen
Got some fucking juice.
has been up for a while.
How many pitches are you at?
66.
Despagne had a pitch to hit there, and he pulls it foul.
Another breaking ball, and Tom Gamboa to Weinstein's left. Andrew Lorraine is the pitching coach of this Team Israel, former Major League pitcher. Very pleased with the depth he has on his pitching staff. Marquis shaking to the changeup. Lavarnway offered a slider, then an inside fastball, and Marquis wants to regroup. Going to go upstairs with the fastball. Didn't get him to chase. I wouldn't throw him anything close. Full count, 1-1 game in the 6th. Start with a fresh count to the next hitter. Throw him another slider, see if he'll chase.
Oh, that was a backup slider. It only came in at 79 miles an hour. And so Despagne is on his way to first.
Yeah, Despagne is veteran enough to recognize this is a backup slider. Hit him on the back of the left arm. But Marquis just overcooked that breaking ball, and now Despagne will take his base with 2 outs.
Jerry Weinstein is on his way out to the mound now with Marquis at 69 pitches. And that's it. Marquis gives up the ball. And for Jason Marquis, a really nice effort against this Cuban lineup. 1-1, he exits in the 6th. Tonight from Tokyo, a little Tokyo crack-a-lack from Tsutsugo. Japan used that to sweep through their first round. But the Netherlands are back, and the Netherlands, they were the original Cinderellas of the World Baseball Classic back in 2009. They got to the final round in San Francisco in 13, and they arrive here to take on Japan. First game, and a good one. Israel and Cuba, 1-1. Top 6, Zach Thornton, Mets property. You see his 2016 in Las Vegas. Tough place to pitch.
Very
Las
tough.
Vegas.
Cashman Field, very small ballpark, hard infield, and it's very difficult to really get a gauge by looking at the raw numbers. First pitch slider off the plate. Thornton pitched at University of Oregon. He was a 23rd round pick of Oakland in 2010.
Saavedra, right field, and Borenstein is there, and he makes the catch. And so Jerry Weinstein's move pays off. Thornton finishes the 6th. Game still 1-1. Well, just 2 runs in this ball game. You saw the Despagne homer. That was the Varnway double. And the World Baseball Classic here in Tokyo, the second round begins. This is the first game. This is the Cinderellas of the tournament so far. Israel at 3-0, sweeping through pool play in Korea, taking down Korea, Chinese Taipei, and the Kingdom of the Netherlands. And you've got Cuba here, whose only loss in the first round was to Japan. Japan and Netherlands play tonight. This a tight one, a 1-1, bottom of the 6th ball game. And Ty Kelly takes a fastball for a strike. And Buck Martinez, on a day and night where some wild stuff has happened in the World Baseball Classic. The Dominican Republic's 5-0 comeback with Nelson Cruz home run to beat Team USA. Venezuela hanging on by a thread in extras to beat Italy, as Kelly lines it foul.
And the host team in Jalisco, Mexico. Mexico lost a disappointing game to Italy in their first game. You just wonder how they're going to handle that.
Well, we told you in pool play, you lose to the underdog, you have an uphill battle because the next 2 teams you play won't be underdogs. Pitches in. And you saw Yera turn his back to the plate, wander around the mound. It's obviously a very different style that Cuba plays, but that's one of the cool things about the World Baseball Classic. Did you see the celebration after the Nelson Cruz home run at home plate? Half his team was at home plate, and it wasn't a walk-off homer.
In the middle of the game. Yeah, you're right, and we have seen that throughout this tournament, and the Cubans are very emotional, very demonstrative. They wear their emotions on their sleeve, and many times during this tournament we have seen Cuban pitchers throw a pitch that they think's a strike. The umpire doesn't give them a call, and they turn their back on the umpire.
But it's not just the Latin countries. Over here, Japan plays a distinct style, and they handle themselves a little differently than many have seen. Korea as well. Korea famous for bat flips. Just YouTube Korean bat flips, and you'll be entertained for a good 5 minutes. This is a typical Ty Kelly at bat, isn't it?
Yes, it is. He is very patient. He has a terrific career on base percentage, and he knows his job right now, leading off this inning here in the bottom of the 6th. Get aboard, set the table for the big bats behind him.
Yera's 3-2. Off speed, Kelly lines it into left field and has a base hit, racing around first, and he'll hold there. And so Israel has a leadoff man aboard in front of the big bats now, Davis, Fryman, and Borenstein.
Good at bat by Kelly. He hung in there, and watch him break out of the box. He's thinking that he might have a chance to get to second if there's a misplay by Despain. Good turn around the bag, and that's what the coaches tell you. Make him stop you coming out of the box. Don't take anything for granted.
With the lefty on the mound, Jerry Weinstein looks like he's going to pinch hit for Ike Davis. And it looks like Cody Decker's going to get that call.
Cody Decker, a 30-year-old, played in Colorado Springs AAA, Santa Monica, California, played at UCLA. He was a draft pick of the Padres in 2009. Powerful bat, and in that first round he was 2 for 8. Didn't have a homer, didn't have an RBI, but they match up here, right-handed hitting Decker for Davis.
Decker lifts it foul. Now, we told you the bullpens are hidden, but both dugouts have a video monitor and they can see both pens. And Buck, I think that's a key here for Weinstein, because Cuba did not have a right-hander ready. They have a lefty throwing, so he knew that if he made the move now, that he'd have Decker against a lefty.
Well, there's Levan Moinello. We have seen him in this tournament. The slender left-hander throws the ball hard.
Decker in the air to right. Cespedes plants himself and makes the catch, and Kelly is back to first. So Decker will probably stay in that DH spot. Now you've got Fryman and Borenstein. Fryman a righty bat, Borenstein a left-handed bat.
Fryman, we mentioned, homered in a pool in Korea. 9 big league home runs on his resume.
Kelly's back in. He was robbed of a hit on a great sliding catch by Roel Santos in center field in the first. Yera misses in, shakes his head a little bit. That one misses in, and Yera's not pleased at all. You can see his posture on the mound, his reaction to the call. I think the umpires, and you've got a major league umpire and Todd Tichenor behind the plate, I think they understand that there's a little different international language and reaction sometimes to calls.
Yeah, you have to be a little more patient, a little more understanding in this atmosphere. Whereas if that were a major league pitcher, it might draw a different reaction from Tichenor. But he understands this international event. You're going to see several different styles and lots of different cultural backgrounds throughout the course of the tournament.
Fryman waits, 2-0 pitch, and it's down low. And again, Israel is a very patient lineup.
At 21 walks in the first 3 games. They have drawn 3 walks so far, and Fryman's really got to show patience here, even though the count's in his favor. He's not going to get a pitch down the middle. He won't get a cookie on this 3-0 pitch. You can bet on that.
So do you green light him?
I green light him, and I just understand that he's got big power. Give him a chance to swing.
It's the outside part of the plate and a strike.
Yeah, and it still wasn't a fastball. It took something off that running pitch down and away. I wouldn't be surprised if they start to runner here. 3-1 count, 1 out. He's trying to stay out of a potential double play.
And not get picked off with the lefty. Kelly, not a big lead. Doesn't mean he's not going, though. And he draws a throw.
7th inning of a very good ball game. Both teams have had opportunities, a couple of caught stealings in the game, 1 for each team.
And a lot on the line. Just ask Israel what it was like to win that first game against Korea, how that set the tone for their run through Korea going 3-0. Just ask Cuba what it was like to lose in their first game to Japan and then have to not only beat China but then struggle against Australia and narrowly win that ball game. That was some nervous moments for the Cuban team.
And Carlos Marti told us after that 11-6 loss to Japan, the atmosphere was totally different when they were facing China. They lost 6-0, but got off to a very slow start. He said, I had to really get on my players to remind them, hey, you got to get back in this game quickly.
Kelly runs, Fryman takes in and is walked. And Yera again is not happy with the call at the plate. His catcher Alarcon popped out to throw, but Tichenor had already called it ball 4.
Well, David Price, the great pitcher for the Red Sox, has a theory about this. That pitch is off the plate inside. It's not close. Price when he first came to the Blue Jays in that trade, put up a sign in his locker. You don't like it? Pitch better.
Well, this trip may serve two purposes. One, some pitching instruction. Two, maybe some advice on decorum on the mound.
Elvis Aviles, the pitching coach, talking to Yetta. And it looks like he's saying, hey, man, just make your pitches. Don't get so animated. You got good enough stuff to get these guys out. And now you have a left-handed hitter at the plate. So get ahead of him. You can see, yeah, just about 5'8", not a very big guy, but he throws the ball very well. And he's a strikeout pitcher. So he'd be well advised to worry more about getting the hitter out than what the umpire is doing behind the catcher.
I'm sure Todd Tichenor speaks enough Spanish, you know, working in the major leagues, that he understands when he goes out there that there's going to be a few words with the pitching coach. It was brief. And Borenstein has lined out and struck out. You got Lavarnway on deck. Ty Kelly's at second. Nate Fryman's at first. Infield poised for two. Lefty on lefty. Breaking ball, ground ball, base hit, right field. That's Cespedes in right. Here comes Kelly. Here comes a throw in there. Israel on top now, 2-1.
Borenstein's second RBI of the tournament. Jumps on the first pitch from Yera. Rips it past the first baseman. Kelly gets a good break on contact from second base. Cespedes has a strong arm. He throws it on line, but not in time. 2 hops to the plate as Kelly slides in with the go-ahead run here in the 6th. Cespedes, good strong throw. A little bit late getting to the plate, and Israel has the lead.
Carlos Marti, the manager for Cuba, is on his way out. And Yoenis Yera is on his way out. 2-1 Israel. Big hit. Zach Borenstein pulls it into right field. Ty Kelly scores. Israel now first and second. And a right-hander out of the bullpen. Jose Garcia. A closer in Cuba.
15 saves last season on in this situation to go up against the hard-hitting right-hander Ryan Lavarnway. Lavarnway had an RBI double his last time up. Both of his at-bats have been very good at-bats so far today.
And of course, he was the MVP in Korea. Received his award before this ball game. He's lined out and then doubled down the left field line. I mean, have a week. It's Fryman at second. Borenstein at first. And a strike.
First pitch breaking ball as Garcia gets ahead. Garcia's only faced 2 batters in this tournament. Didn't get an out, gave up a hit, and walked a batter.
Breaking ball, line down the right field line. Cespedes ventures in the corner, and he's made the catch. Everybody holds. That's the speed that Yoelqui Cespedes has.
Lavarnway with another good AB, hits the ball hard all the way down into the right field corner. Cespedes shaded in that direction as Lavarnway lined out to right back in the second. So Cespedes got a good read and a good jump and makes the catch in foul ground.
The 19-year-old in right field. So Lavarnway is out number 2. Blake Galen now, who has walked and flied to center. Israel has a run. They've come back to erase a 1-0 Cuba lead. Alfredo Despagne opened his day with a solo home run, a long one to left field. Israel got a run in the 4th on the Lavarnway double, and have rallied for a run here in the 6th. Remember, this is a team that scored 21 runs in 3 games in Korea.
Good block on that breaking ball to keep the runners at their respective bases. A 2-1 game. As Fanny Alacon came into the ball game as a pinch hitter for the starter Frank Morejon. Morejon may have left with an apparent injury. We've not been updated on that fact, but he fell into the dugout earlier in the tournament making an attempt on a foul pop-up.
Ball and a strike with 2 outs. And again, this is an Israeli team that will chew up pitch counts, get to deep counts, walk, get themselves in good hitters counts. Breaking ball hammered to right. Cespedes back. Won't get it. Off the wall. Here comes Fryman. Borenstein is held at 3rd. And Israel is up 3-1. Blake Galen, an RBI double.
Galen stayed back on that breaking ball and hammers it over the head of Cespedes in right. Nate Fryman comes in to score, and good job by Galen as that ball's down and away, but he stays on it and barrels it up over the head of the right fielder. An RBI double, picks up his first RBI of the tournament, and it's a big one here in this 2-run 6th inning.
Carlos Marti out again, and another pitching change for Cuba. 3-1 now, Israel. Blake Galen with a big moment here against Israel. With an RBI double, the 31-year-old has given Israel a 3-1 lead. Levan Moinelo, a lefty who came in a key moment in the win over Australia.
This is his 3rd appearance of the series, and he's a hard-throwing lefty trying to strand a pair of base runners. He inherits here with 2 outs in the 6th.
So Krieger now the switch hitter, singled and was caught stealing in the 5th, and he's flied out. We talked about his career at Clemson. He had to go through a lot of injuries, and it looks like they are going to walk him. So apparently, Buck, the new intentional walk rule has not arrived with the World Baseball Classic, right?
Not in place, that's for sure, and it's something we'll see in the major leagues this season. Managers will just be able to indicate the intentional walk, and the pitcher will not have to throw 4 pitches.
All right, let me ask you this. As a manager, would you rather have the guy that's exiting deliver the intentional walk, or the guy that's coming in to pitch do it?
Well, it's 50-50 in my mind, but you're right. You bring a fresh pitcher in, and you don't want him to come in and lob 4 pitches and then ask him to throw a good pitch on the next pitch he throws. I think that's one of the aspects of the intentional walk that people are missing. Say you're in a late situation in the game and you've got Stanton hitting and Yellett's coming up, and you say, okay, I'm going to walk Stanton in a crucial point of the game, and the first pitch you got to throw to the next guy has to be a good one. So now with the signal and no 4 pitches thrown to the batter, you will never really disrupt the rhythm of the pitcher on the mound at that time.
You can use Bautista and Tulowitzki in that example. You don't need to. All right, bags are loaded here. And here's Burcham, and Burcham hits a high fly ball to the left. Despaigne is there, and he makes the catch, but Israel puts 2 on the board and takes the lead, 3-1. Game summary in this one. It started when Alfredo Despaigne introduced himself to Jason Marquis. 1-0 Cuba. Marquis would work out of trouble and keep it at 1-0. And in the fourth, the star in Korea, the star here, Ryan Lavarnway with an RBI double. That tied it at 1. And then big hits from Zach Borenstein. And then Blake Galen knocking in 2 in the top of the 6th inning. And so here we are in the 7th. And it's Yuritsbel Gracial, Carlos Benitez up first against Zach Thornton. Josvani Alarcon, who is in for Frank Motorhone, due up third. Motorhone, the starting catcher for Cuba, has left the game with an apparent injury.
Gracial, with a single his first time up, now has 8 hits in 14 at-bats so far in this tournament. He's facing Thornton for the first time. Thornton came in to close out the 6th inning and got Saavedra to fly out to right.
Gracial, a veteran of the Cuban leagues, 31. Some major league teams have shown interest in him as a utility player. He spent part of his summer playing summer ball in Canada in an independent league. And remember, Cuba's Serie Nacional, which is their professional league and is quite competitive and obviously quite popular in Cuba, runs through the winter months. Up the middle, backhanded there. Krieger to first in time. And Gracial is retired. It's a good infield for Israel.
Very good infield around the diamond. Kelly, Burcham, and Krieger, all very good fielders, and they've got a terrific target over at first in 6'8" Nate Fryman, the big first baseman, presents a very favorable target over at first. You can throw it over there with a lot of confidence that he's going to be able to flag it down. Fryman asking the bench where they want him to play. Does this guy run? Is he a threat to bunt? Should I stay back? And this is a pinch hitter.
Guillermo Aviles. We saw him a bit in the first round coming off the bench. And Aviles hitting for the second baseman, Carlos Benitez.
Aviles had a 2-run pinch hit single against Japan in the opener of this first round here in Tokyo. That was a part of a 3-run inning. Cuba had been retired 12 straight when Despaigne led it off with a home run. Saavedra had a base hit. Gracial hit a double, and then Marti sent Aviles up to hit, and he came through with a 2-run single to right.
Remember what we said earlier in the telecast. In pool play, the one thing you don't want to do is lose to the underdog. Now, Israel, an underdog, but they're not playing like it. They didn't play like it in Korea. And the difficulty is if you lose to Israel, then in all probability, Cuba would have to beat Japan and the Netherlands to have a shot at advancing. And that's a tall order. Number one, to beat Japan here in this building, in which they are so good.
Well, the rest of the schedule here in this pool, Israel will play Monday night against the Netherlands. Cuba will play Japan on Tuesday. And then we'll have another doubleheader on Wednesday. Israel and Japan will meet in the night game.
That's strike 3 call. Aviles turns. He's not happy, but Thornton has retired all 3 that he's faced.
That running fastball catches the inside corner, about knee high. Barnway does a good job of presenting it for the umpire, Todd Tishner.
Line drive. Kelly has it. Alarcon lines out. And Zach Thornton goes 1, 2, 3 with some help in the 7th.